Hello crafty people, welcome to Selena's Crafty Lab, where we explore the world of creativity and experimental. Whether you are a DIYer or you just like crafting, this is the perfect place for you to come. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, there's something for everyone here, so join us on our crafty adventure. Let's get crafting. So today we're talking about HTV and sublimation, how the two work together, the products we need, where we can purchase them from, what we require in order to put this together, what sublimation does, and what is HTV. So HTV is a vinyl, and HTV vinyls are things that you will pick due to either by style. There is glitter, there's chrome, there's your coloured HTV, and then there's puffy HTV. There are also a few others that you can purchase online, but these are the two basic ones that I currently own. You're also going to need a Cricut machine, or if you don't have Cricut, you can use Cameo, whichever machine you prefer. And you're going to need your mats, and you're going to need weeding tools. So what we are then going to need is you're also going to need a sublimation printer. And the sublimation printer I currently have is an Epson Eco Tank that I have converted into a sublimation printer using Hippo sublimation ink. Once you've got all your supplies together, we're going to then go over into Cricut Design Space, and we're going to put this project together. So let's go over and have a look. Okay, so we're going to go and open Cricut Design Space. We're going to go and create a new project. We're going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to select the size. I'm doing an adult extra large, and we're going to hit customize. Okay, and so here you see we have our shirts. Now we're not going to do the back, we're doing the front of the shirt. So I'm going to click on this template and hit delete because we don't want that one, and this is the template we're going to work with. So my client has asked for me to put an image on this t-shirt, but within an image. So we're going to do vinyl as well as using sublimation. So we're going to go and we're going to go images, and we're going to do a quick search. We've already got it here. It says dartboard, and this one here is the dartboard we use. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to take it over to here. I'm just going to move it, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to resize this dartboard roughly. You can close this, it doesn't need to be open now. So we're just repositioning this on our t-shirt. I'm just going to shrink it out. Yeah, that kind of looks good, and I think I'm pretty happy with that size. A little bit bigger, so that it fits within that square. I don't want any bigger than that. That looks good. Okay, so now we're going to get ourselves a shape. We're going to grab a circle up here, hit arrow and drag our circle over. We're just going to resize it slightly, and I'm going to change the color to white just so that we can see it hovering. See how it covers your image over the top? So I'm just going to zoom in and position ourselves a bit better. Okay, so our circle's a little bit big. Let's make it fit inside there. And once we're happy with where it's positioned, that looks good, we're going to duplicate it. So I want two of those. I'm going to pop it to the side, and I'm going to explain to you why we do that soon. You'll notice the little emblems come up here saying the dartboard is too large and that I need to reduce the size. So I'm just going to reduce the size of that dartboard slightly. There we go. Now it's a good size. So let's make sure that our circle fits. Better, so we'll delete that one, and we need to do another duplicate because we want it to be exactly the same. Good. So now you're going to touch on this circle here, and then you hit the shift key and then do your dartboard as well. So it connects both of them together. And what you want to do is click on your align, and we want to align center. That way we know our circle is perfectly in the middle of our project. And then we want to go to this bottom right here where it says slice, and you're going to click that button once. So now what it's done is it's sliced that image out, and you'll see your slices over here. So I'm going to click on this one and delete, delete, and delete. So now we're left with our dartboard and our circle. So the next step is we want to put our image on this. So first of all, you need to cut this shape. So I'm going to duplicate it again. So I've got one of vinyl, and this one is going to be my print then cut. So I'm going to go over to uploads. Now I've already uploaded an image. You can pick whatever image you want to be for there, but we're going to do this one today. So we'll click on it, it'll pop up on your screen. You can hit X to delete it if you've picked the wrong one, otherwise you go add to canvas. So we've got her upside down, so we're just going to do a quick flip and put it around the right way. Now you want to see how much of that image you want to get inside this. So first of all, we need to arrange this and click bring to front, because you want this to hover over the top. Okay, so this is our little circle we've cut out, so now it's hovering over the top. So we've popped it roughly where we'd want it to be. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this, hit shift and the image, and we're going to hit slice again. Okay, so it's telling me a warning, but we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to take this away, and this is our slice result. We can delete that print and cut, we don't need that anymore. So if you position her where you want her to be, that is how that will look on the shirt. Okay, so we no longer need this circle, but we still have this one because we need to cut that out in vinyl. The next step is she wants wording, so we're going to go to our text and we're going to type in there, my mother-in-law is the best. Okay, and we're just gonna grab this text, oops, and move our shirt back to where we want it because this is our template. My mother-in-law is the best, and we're gonna resize that so that it's easier to read. Okay, and add another text. Dartboard. Oopsie. Okay. Change that. Right. And that text is going to go down here. So you can match your sizes by clicking. So the size on this one is 101.82 is my font size. And if you click on this one, you see it's high. We'll just take it down so that it matches 101. It's close enough. And we're just going to quickly zoom out and make sure we're satisfied with our project. Now, if you feel that the lettering is a bit too small, or you want to change the size or style, you can do. This is the style we have decided to go with for this image. So now we're going to go over to our Cricut machine. We can delete this template now, we no longer need it, and we're going to make it so. Okay, so just quickly move myself because you couldn't see what was going on here. So you can see at the top it's got my dartboard lettering, got my mother-in-law lettering, we've got our slice result, which is our print and cut, then we've got our basic cut, which is our vinyl, and then our last one, which is also our basic cut, which is also our vinyl. So then what we do is we click make it and save project, and you can call it whatever you want, and this is a t-shirt for client, and I'm just going to save that into my t-shirts folder and save. Okay, so now you can see this is our print and cut. So this is how it is going to print out for us. So I am going to go print and cut, and because we're sublimating, make sure you tick the mirror button. It probably doesn't matter because our circle is perfect, but we do want to make sure we click that mirror button just because we're sublimating, and that's the best thing to do when you're applying images or sublimated images. And we're going to go all the way down to continue. We are now on the page where we get to print our product out. So we're going to go send to printer. This is, it says here, 4 cut sensor marks and additional arrows will be printed with your design to aid in cut accuracy. Okay, and you can click don't show this again if you don't really want to see it again, but I'm just going to do that because I don't really need to see that. I'm going to click next. Then we're going to go into here and we're going to find our printer, and I'm the ET2810. We're asking for 1. Do I want the bleeds? I'm going to turn my bleed to off because I don't need that, and I'm going to go use system dialogues and click print. Now my dialog is going to come up. I'm going to click on my printer and its preferences. So I need to change my paper style. So we're not using plain. I'm going to use Epson. I'm going to say matte because it gives it the best sort of quality for printing. I'm going to go standard, and I'm going to put that right up to high, and then I'm going to click OK. Once that is done, it's going to print. It's going to send it over to my printer, and it says this is what my printer, what it should look like, size wise, sensors and everything. Okay, and now we're going to go to the next step. So now we've printed out our project, we're then going to put it onto our mat to cut, and you can see the image to the left here. This is our mat. So you'll see there's the little black guidelines on the page. They are there to show you where the image is going to cut around, so you get that perfect circular cut. So you're going to place it onto your mat and put it into your machine. I'm going to go browse materials. I'm going to type in here paper, search, and we're doing copy paper. So you can see I've actually added a bookmark. You can if this is something you use regularly. So I'm just going to click copy paper and then done. So now we've got our base material set up. What we're going to use is it's on default pressure, which is fine. It's going to tell you to load a fine point blade, insert your mat under the guides, and then press the load button. Now we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to grab our material off. Okay, so now that has been done, we are now going to load our mat with our white HTV that we are going to be cutting out, and we are then going to click continue. Now we're in here, I am going to look for the type of iron-on I'm working with. Now I'm doing an everyday iron-on. You can check your manufacturer's instructions as to what you're using, but this is the one that I'm doing, so I'm going to click everyday iron-on. It tells me to make sure mirror is turned on and iron-on material is faced shiny side down. Okay, so yes, I've ticked mirror. The pressure is default. I'm going to do less because sometimes it will cut through and that's not what I want. Fine point blade and load my mat, and we're going to cut that material out and then we're going to come back to you. Okay, so I forgot to record this cutting, but it's just a simple circle so it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to cut my HTV down to size because I really don't like wasting it. So I get my scissors out and I cut this down so it gets it nice and small and very minimal wastage is there. Now I'm just showing you how I weed it, and as you can see, it's not that easy. It is pretty tough. That cover sheet really sticks on well. So giving a good old pull, getting that off, and that is done. Okay, so that material has been done. Now we're going on to doing our next piece of item. So we're going to click continue, and the good thing about Cricut Design Space is it will give you instructions as to what you need to do on each step. So we're in here and we're doing heat transfer vinyl, and the one I'm using is a non-Cricut brand, but you can use Cricut brand of course. So I'm going to click on that. Again, you've got this little red mark. When this comes up, make sure you look at that. It says to make sure it is turned on. If you go down here, you'll notice it is not. So we want to mirror that. So now my mirror is on. load your materials. You've got your tools, we're not going to edit any of these. The pressure, I'm going to make it less because sometimes it cuts through too far. You're going to press go on your machine. Once this is done, we'll come back to the next step. Okay, so that material is cut out. Now we've got one more left to do, and that has been applied. We're going to click continue. Once again, I'm using heat transfer vinyl. If you want to find it, you can go to browse materials, type in heat transfer. Here we go, heat transfer. So you've got heat transfer non-Cricut, and then you've got heat transfer. This is a holographic one, which I currently have but we're not using, but we're going to use the non-Cricut brand, and we're going to click done. Reading our little red note again, make sure your mirror is turned on. Go down to our image. Is our mirror turned on? No, it's not. So we're going to click mirror, make sure our mirror is on. I'm going to edit the pressure to less because sometimes it will cut through and I don't want it to do that. And then we're going to click go on our printer. Once we've done that, we get to come back to you and I will show you the process of applying it to your product. Okay, so here we are putting on my HTV vinyl onto my mat. Notice it's shiny side down, matte side up. Measuring out the size. Now it's cut. I'm going through and weeding it, but I find the best way to weed is to actually cut out sections with my letters, because words sometimes can be a bit big, and then when you're pulling the vinyl off, you'll end up pulling off the letter as well. So I kind of do it in sections to make it easy, because this HTV is really hard to pull off that cover sheet. It is a good quality cover sheet and it does not peel off nicely. This is another reason why I have a weeding tool, because the good weeding tools help weed out all those little centers and in a quick, efficient manner. Make sure you've got somewhere to put those scraps, because you don't want them sticking back on your cover sheet that you have just weeded off. So we're going to scrape it off our mat so we don't lose any letters. And now we're working on our bullseye, and unfortunately when I was cutting this, I cut this in a wrong setting because it actually cut through. So you'll notice as I'm weeding out these letters, which I'm struggling a little bit with because they are really stuck to that cover sheet and a little bit fiddly, you'll start to see that it is starting to pop up and come off of the mat. And that is because it cut through, and I didn't actually want it to do that, but that's okay. We work our way through this. It gets a bit fiddly because I have to start piecing things together, but we get the job done in the end. Okay, now we're just going to take all that moisture out of that shirt by using our Cricut Easy Press, pushing it down, getting it nice and dry. And I've got my little center there to help me, it's my guide to position my letters, because I want them perfectly centered, and I'm a little bit OCD about this, so I kind of muck around a bit to get it straight. And then once it's on, I'm going to use sublimation tape, and I'm going to tape it all down, because the last thing I want is for this to start moving. As you can see, my heat press here is actually too small to do the whole section, so this is where we're going to have to go into getting out my larger heat press, which is this one here. So we place our shirt on and get it in position and press it for 20 seconds. And then we take it off. Now I've positioned all of my bits. As you can see, there's lots of tape on here because I have had to go through and tape this bit by bit. But I'm putting down a piece of butcher's paper because I don't want it to damage my HTV, because I'm going to have to press this a few times. So I've done my first 20-second press. Taking this off, I'm just testing to see whether it feels like it has softened, and it has. But I have to move it up because it doesn't quite fit on my press. You'll see the very bottom edge there where the 3 is still sticking up slightly, so we have to do one more press. That is why I use that baker sheet, because I don't want to damage the HTV by pressing it for too long. Okay, now we're going to get on to putting on our last letters, and I'm going to fiddle around putting them in place till I'm happy. Once it is done, we may chuck down a little bit of tape, which I probably do, and then put it back in the machine. No, I don't, I just put it in the machine. So you can see it's actually quite strong, it will stick anyhow, but I use a bit of baking sheet there as well, and I fold it over because I also don't want that heat to be too much on there. Right, peeling. Now this took a while, hence why it's fast forwarded, because as you can see I've got to peel off all those little sheets, all the little fiddly bits, every single one, until it's all gone, because if it is still on there when I go to sublimate my image on, I will not get a full picture because the clear HTV transfer tape is still attached. So we're just going to take all of that off. And that's why your pressure is very important. If it's too low, or too high, sorry, it will cut right the way through your cover sheet, and then when you're peeling it off you have little bits to have to remove. Okay, this is my Easy Press Mini. Now I am getting this out and I'm going to briefly press this on because this will attach quickly. I don't want to put it on the entire time, but just a light press. Now I get my sublimation picture and I will paste that on top. And then I'm going to get my press out and I'm going to press it until I see that image coming through. Now I only tacked that HTV on because I didn't want to actually damage it by putting too much heat, hence why we just did a smidgen of a tack, and then we use our Easy Press now to push it through until I start seeing an image coming through. When I notice that image, it's ready for it to start to peel off. And here we go, I'm going to peel this off and voila, there is our image attached. Isn't that amazing? Thank you for watching Crafty Lab. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something new. If you did, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. And please leave a comment below with your feedback or any suggestions that you may have. Until next time, continue crafting, people, and have a wonderful day. This is Selena from Crafty Labs. Thank you for watching. Bye.